Yo, what is up? We are back. Apologies, that's what my PC's been doing. It's actually been on all day and waited for this exact moment for when I go live to fucking rug me. It is honestly just doing my tits in. I need to buy another one, but I am literally retarded with PCs. So I had to get Jim to design this one for me in terms of like pick out all the parts and stuff. And yeah, I might have to ask him to very kindly do it again. So yeah, BTC. I think I covered all my thought processes before it died. Sticking in my short, basically, from up here somewhere, 45,800 ish, and yeah, that's it. This is my thought process. I think we lose a bit of momentum here. There's no clean div across these highs or anything like that, even across this. I mean, it is in a nice uptrend, but I don't want to long here. Fucking terrible place to long, in my opinion, and it's a terrible place to short, I think, as well, given that running these highs is pretty high probability in terms of like all that and finding a bunch of stops up here. So it's in a poor place for me to trade, particularly with no signals. Like if there was a nice RSI div across here, then yeah, maybe I could be convinced. But there isn't. So why hypothesize about what isn't there? But yeah, you are at that kind of point of control, and if you wanted to take a punt here, I could kind of understand it, but it's not a trade that I would take. So hopefully that covers that. For me, if I sat in my trade for forever and a fucking day, I think I was in it since like the start of December, maybe even sooner. Um, and really, not much has changed in terms of high time frame bias, but I basically closed my position and thought, right, I'm kind of done with that big spot exposure on Ethereum. I locked in a little bit of profit up here somewhere, basically the re-entry into this little consolidation down here. And yeah, if we break out, I could be tempted to rebuy. There's never anything stopping me rebuying and getting back on board that spot position, which I sold like here basically, and I was long from in here for maybe it was here. Yeah, I've been long on it for fucking ever, and basically shaved out a tiny bit of profit. Is what just you, mate? No, the stream died. If you're wondering, stream literally rugged. My PC just switched off as it's been doing lately, and it only does it when I'm in the middle of something important, right? So that's why I've got my laptop sat next to my desk, because it's got buy bet on it. So if my PC rugs me, I don't get fucked on my trades, which happened in the past with FTX trades. Obviously, I put stops on and stuff, but it's one of those where, if you want to manage your position, and hello again, not Murray, if you want to manage your position as you're trading, which I pretty much always do when I'm playing rotations, that you kind of have to have a stable connection and or PC. But yes, I have my laptop and I will get my old PC out. Do I have a mullet? No. Do I sound like a disgusting human being to you? Actually, don't answer that. No, I don't have a mullet. I kind of wish I did. Hey, Callum. Yeah, I'm good, mate. How are you? No, I do not have a mullet. I don't think my wife would find me particularly attractive if I had a mullet. She'd probably think I'd be on a register. Mac or Windows for trading? I don't think it makes a difference, to be honest. Hello, Captain Slow. Yeah, I don't think it makes a difference at all. So yeah, we had a wonderful move on the ETH. Everyone zoomed in on this. What fucking bull market's back, boys. Jesus Christ, this is what we get excited about now. Um, I'm not gonna be super bullish and reposition it in ETH, particularly quickly. Like ETH BTC going like breaking out this range, yeah, maybe that would coincide quite nicely, I think, with ETH USD breaking out this range, and you've actually got the confluence of both things moving in the right direction. Obviously, it depends on how you trade and how balls deep you want to go in terms of taking risk on early. I know at the bottom of the range, which would have been evidently a good trade. But for me, where it is now is the only thing that I can action, and I do not want to trade it here, right now. Any thoughts on FET and Woo? I mean, FET, I haven't actually looked at for fucking ages, but I will load it up just for you. I think the thing with stuff like FET is, whilst I like AI, I think a lot of it, unless it is brand new and shiny, that's kind of played out. And I mean, even this from like a high time frame market structure perspective is not looking good, is it? So if we just like literally think of this as a high time frame pivot, I mean that's pretty reasonable. But looking at this kind of downtrending structure, it's not great. Can you talk about these indicators on the bottom? Are they available? Yeah, they're free, mate. They're okay, that one might not be, but that's just RSI, relative strength index. Relative strength index is literally last 14 bars. It's like the percentage bullish, percentage bearish in terms of like how strong they move. And if you have 14 candles straight up, you would get a 100 score on the RSI, which is up here somewhere. And if you had the opposite, 14 red candles, you would get 0. So, you know, the general consensus is that over 70 is overbought and under 30 is oversold. So you can look at it, you can look at price, because that's all it's doing. It's just literally looking at price over whatever period you specify, usually 14 candles, and just repainting it for you in a different way. And the other way to think of it is if it's above 50, it's bullish. If it's below 50, it's bearish. Because that's where the momentum is in the last 14 periods. And something like this, like a 50 retest, so you know, if you draw support and resistance on it, which is kind of a bit redacted because you know it's not really anything that people use to play off that exact 50 number, but principally you can see that you know we were in strong run up, a bit of a weaker run up in terms of that momentum because it's much lower on the RSI. So this is like 80 odd, this is like 70 odd. And now you can see that actually we're kind of starting to eject from that 50 and actually probably continuing that bearish momentum down. Greg, do you have a mullet? It's a good question. Kind of the mullet accusations going around. Remember helium miners and helium coin? Yeah, well, I remember buying a load of. Well, was it? Evidently, I don't remember it. I want to say like Stark or something, but it wasn't Stark. Began with an S. And we all bought it on the basis of a HLM drop. Points in the chat if you can remember that from 2017. Christ, definitely began with an S. But we bought a ton of this utter garbage shit. I mean, they're all garbage shit coins, aren't they? Really? We bought a ton of them, and we were all doing it purely for the helium airdrop. And the main coin went down like 60% or something straight after. Wanted to get in and play it to 0.70. I mean, there is kind of a thought process here that says it's not very clean. I was kind of looking at it from like a diagonal trend perspective, and actually, if you're you know, what would be a semi-reasonable long is like literally reclaim like this level through here and actually get on board with a stop under there, but reasonably kind of everything's against you at this point. But yeah, it's also probably looking at that relatively weak. So as you will know, if you've ever tuned into one of my streams or seen one of my charts online, you know, on Twitter or whatever, like this just plays a huge part of my trading. Huge part. I don't even know if I've got fat on here, to be honest. Just for you, I'll humour you. And we've presumably added it, but I don't know where the fuck it is. If I can't see it on here, it's not sexy. That's the rule, I'm afraid. If it's in this mess in the middle, I'm not interested in it. XRP dumped on there. I know that's because XRP's a shitcoin, mate. Spag bowl. Yeah, and that's it. Like big spag bowl. Love the spag bowl. Gotta have the spaghetti. Like I genuinely don't know how how people cope without it. To be honest with you, it's really annoying me. What coin did you have to have? No, HT is fucking old. None of this stuff. No. Bitcoin talk. Helium. Spread coin. There it is. Spread coin. Yeah, we're all stacking the spread coin, boys. All stacking the spread coin to get that sweet, juicy airdrop way back in the day. Do you look for spag losers at extreme to reverse the top? Yeah. So the two the two trades that are the best, the extremes, right? And they probably always will be. So there's kind of three ways of looking at it: the best performing, the worst performing, and things that are just starting to emerge. So you'll see like random bits. I mean, it's easy with hindsight, right? As well, really easy with hindsight. But as you're looking at this, right, you're looking at this huge cluster, and you're looking at one coin just go fucking mental. Like, if you flick to this coin and like we're there and going, what the hell is going on with JTO? And you can see it's breaking out of a little low time frame range or something, and it gives you an invalidation and it gives you somewhere to jump on board that as a breakout rotation, then that's a trade. Like that's and let's have a peep. Let's fucking live lab some hindsight shit, shall we? Where are we at? 1425. 1425. So we're down here, right? So yeah, literally, like you're breaking out of like a little low time frame consolidation, right? Nice and easy into a new session, into it being a high beta asset, like pretty much up only, pull back, consolidate, start a basic fresh leg, like, and that compared to pretty much everything else in the market is just fucking wild. And that was a nice rotation. Okay, it didn't hold, it didn't play out for very long, but you see what I mean? Like that's 5%. Like you get a couple of those a day, and it's lovely. Got some nice underlines thanks to Spag on your last stream. Well done. Excellent. It's nice to know that like what we chat about actually has some use, and people go on to use it. I think we talked about Manta. Was it Manta we talked about last stream? In terms of someone had a long from down here, I think. Is it Manta? Or am I making that up? Yeah, let's go on to something else. We had Sol. I shared this with EXO a few days ago, and I messaged him this morning and said, "Look, I'm an analyst now." And then I thought, well, actually, that that makes for a pretty good tweet. Okay, Boomer, everyone's taking a ton of stuff nowadays. This time will sure be different, right? Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you think about the logic of staking, right? And I'm probably going to support staking for some protocols at some point in time. I'm going to stake shit myself. I've got shit staked all the time. I've got things like Sync staked. I've got some POW staked. I've got various other things staked where either I get some revenue or I just get like a percentage of tokens or I get a reasonable APR or something, or they're a bag that I just don't give a fuck about. So, it's a small bag for me and I'll just dump it in there. And it does a couple of things. If it locks it up for like 50 days or something like that, then it stops me piss assing around with it. Especially if it's a small amount of money to me, then it's the best way to kind of just set and forget, get a little bit extra, justify the lack of control, and hopefully come back to it having appreciated in price. But the reality is, if you aren't in that kind of position where you can just punt a few bags and see what happens, and you're checking the price every day and you're going, am I going to get this? Where's it going? Oh my god, it's down 10%. Oh my god, it's down 20%. Like the whole thing of staking isn't there for you as the trader. It's basically there to lock up all the supply so that hopefully people come and buy more at higher prices, and there is essentially a supply shock in the market, as we saw with some low cap shit coins that people shilled on Twitter, like the OG Pepe coins or whatever, which was like 92% staked or something stupid. So you're basically pissing around with, you know, a 10 million market cap. You're actually playing with like a 200k market cap coin. So yeah. Hello, I love my wife and my beautiful kids. But yes, this was one of those ones where I analysed it perfectly and traded it not at all because I was too busy losing money on my MetaMask. What do you think of AIT? I actually haven't looked at AIT for fucking ages. But actually, let's just finish Solana and then I'll come straight back to AIT, I promise. So for me, like Sol, that was an absolutely lovely rotation. If I was holding from the lows, then yeah, I'd probably just still hold it on in the hopes of a breakout. If not, I'd be looking for just like literally anything like a break of the diagonal to just take some profit, right? And just even if I'm scaling out of a position, I could always just jump on board, right? Jump back in if I wanted to. But you know, this is very strong. It's like the best performing large cap coin in terms of like the layer one trade. You know, it's outperforming ETH, and yeah, it's very good. You know, people want to short it just to be the fucking champion of the people, but to me, it's just so fucking stupid to try and short the best performing coin when you could just look for reasons to long it. I said I'd go to AIT next, which I will do. Standard disclosure, I invested in this, yada yada yada. Emails. I say that doesn't look particularly wonderful, does it? It helps if you can type it. Oh, that's not, is it? Okay, oh, that can be it, surely. I'm just going fucking text tools a sec. Like I say, I haven't looked at this in fucking ages. Yeah, it's not far off. Pretty hard to chart, given that's like fuck. Fuck. No, I'm obviously being retarded. Gosh, let's just do it this way. So for me, like anything that's holding like a pretty pivotal level is still, yeah, reasonable. In terms of we had that initial sell off and strong move afterwards, and not really much since, just like meandering in a range. It's quite a big range, isn't it? Really, when you look at it, like this is the thing with like reasonable low caps, is that they tend to move quite violently. Got a lot of holders, not huge amounts of volume on the old Uniswap. A 12 million market cap. I mean, I think they're doing the BFI IDO soon, which I presume that that's what caused this move. You know, for me personally, I've still got a very sizable bag of this, and I've got no intention of selling it anytime soon. But saying that, if we actually start just dying off and fail to reclaim the range, then yeah, maybe I should take some profits on this one. So thank you for putting it on my radar. Bosh. Thought on Kitty Inu, please. Is this a joke? Kitty Inu. There is actually a thing called Kitty Inu. Cool. More volume than AIT. Perfect. Perfect. I mean, the thing with shit like this is, like, it's so fucking illiquid in terms of, like, it's not the worst chart I've ever seen in terms of shitcoins that I've been shilled. And the basic reason is that you usually get a pretty decent run at the highs, don't you? Particularly after that whole, you know, sell off, compressed volatility, and now suddenly, you know, a bit of volume, a bit of awareness, and actually a little bit of a run. Very hard to just ape into these shitters though when they're like this. I ape into shitters when they're like this. Yeah. So they've either had a move and the community's still there. There's still some form of meme there or something like that, or it's a legitimate project and it's got some decent value proposition, but like realistically, it's fucking hard to ape into that. But anyway, that's probably enough time on degenerate shitcoins. Although I'm gonna just start posting degenerate shitcoins all over Twitter because I don't care anymore. Let's go back to some of the wonderful alts. I think ENS, if we catch a bit of an ETH beta bid, and it's a big if, I think ENS will be one of the front runners of that rotation again. I've got ETC on there as well, and that was more from a play around this high time frame level. But again, I completely missed it, so it's that classic analyst points, but no trader points. The couple of alts that I think will do pretty well are Alt and Manta and JTO. So basically anything new. I think Sui as well. So I'm sat in a Sui long at the moment. I'm kind of waiting for this level in terms of do I shave some off and just take some profit if we actually just start dying up here, which it's not looking particularly strong on low time frames like what I want to see. Just to be really clear, is that continued strength. And if you look at it, it's just not really doing a lot. It's kind of sat there, completely meandering at the lows, no relative strength, like out of the rotation. And this is one thing that I don't like about these kind of market conditions, and it's why I don't size down during it, but I don't go huge risk on. So all that means is that I'm not looking for that big breakout trade. So I did a big breakout trade on like Bonk a while ago. Had a really simple, easy setup of just lots of strength, consolidating and coiling, and aped a fuck ton in here, and just watched it do that, and just do the next leg of that move up. So very simple, baby pips TA, meme triangle, etc. on a reasonable low time frame strength in terms of spaghetti, and just had such a tight invalidation I could take a lot more size on it, even though it was a bastard to actually get it filled. And then obviously it ran. Hi Charlie, for those that are looking to buy into new coins when they come on the market, for example Dimension and Chip, how would you manage risk from an investment perspective? It's a good question. I probably wouldn't be looking to buy them as a longer time frame investment, to be brutally honest with you. I would be looking to potentially swing trade them in the same way that you could have done on Manta, Tia, etc. But that, to me, requires a little bit of patience, and it also requires a pretty reasonable plan, because you're gonna have like the three options, aren't you? Which is the fucking classic I don't know, the fucking classic douchebag on Twitter that it could go up, it could go sideways, and it could go down. Like, you have to kind of plan for each of those scenarios, in my opinion. Like, if it goes down, what are you looking for to buy in? Right, I want a change of market structure on the 5 minute. That's enough for me to start getting an investment, because these are going to be really aggressive sales. Is it getting airdropped to people who are basically poor? Are they going to want every fucking penny of it? Or is it being airdropped to people who really don't give a fuck because it's based on the TVL that they added? And actually, the richer you are, the more you get. But the richer you are, the probably less you need it. So, higher propensity chance of it doing that. And if it ranges, like we've had on, not Manta so much. Manta was a little bit of a sell off into a kind of smaller range. But Tia was the one that just like was blocked into about a 20-cent range on a $2 coin, which is plus or minus 10%. I think when you're looking at this, like, if that's your plan, then great. When you're looking at, okay, well, I'm not going to ape straight away, and to be honest with these things, I don't normally ape straight away, right? I don't want to be the guy trying to buy that listing candle because it's super volatile and it's super difficult. Let people show their cards. If price is going to be ranging, you've got some really nice invalidation in terms of a breakout, and that's where I like to get on board because I like the time factor of a trade. So when you get a breakout, there is a time factor to that. If you break out and we sit there and we dick about doing nothing, like the chances of that going like that much lower as time progresses. Whereas if it breaks out and starts doing this, you kind of know that actually that's probably a failed breakout. If it comes back into the range, then you round trip your entire trade. But you've taken the trade. You can probably do that within 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever kind of time horizon that the market wants to move in. That's a bit of a bad example, really, because Manta, like I said, was actually quite a kind of trending move both ways. But yeah, like that's where I would prefer to participate in this scenario. And if it's just up only, I mean, I struggle with just aping into pure up only with kind of no relative strength Q, which there would be because you can add it to this straight away and see that what probably happens is basis and using just simple EMAs to essentially manage that trade and just guide it up with price. And as soon as you lose that EMA or market structure, you just take your money and run. Some falls in straight away, some pump and dump 40%. Would love to know your thoughts. Yeah, exactly. And if you're someone who just wants a piece of that pie, and then just define your risk tolerance up front. But I guarantee you will have a much more enjoyable time thinking about these three scenarios, planning them, what you want to see in each of them to interact with, and also what you want to see when you sell. So if you buy down here, let's say, and then it goes up 2x, is that enough for you? That's 500 million market cap, 250 million market cap, 500 million. Like if that's your arbitrary kind of point, then great. And if you say, right, I'm going to take profit here, but actually the chart looks good from a market structure perspective, we are here right now. What I will do is I will leave a trailing stop under here, and if it fucks off, then I'll probably catch some more of that move. If not, then I risk that tiny little bit extra. How do you define the difference between a shitcoin or a good project? That is a very big question, my friend. Very big question. Because it's less about, right? It's less about whether it's a good or a shit project or a shit coin, right? It doesn't actually matter. It doesn't matter at all. Like, what do you think is a better project? Ethereum or SHIB? Which do you think gave better returns in 2021? SHIB. But SHIB's the worst project by a country mile. Like, it's a fucking dog. It's a dog coin. So, when you try and rationalize the market beyond what are people bidding, what's a strong narrative, what do I think in a day, an hour, an hour, a day, a week, a month is going to be trading at higher prices than it is now, based on whatever the fuck factor I decide. That's kind of it. And I don't know. I'm probably selling myself short here in terms of, I guess, applying that knowledge in terms of being able to read narratives, being able to read relative strength and do all that kind of stuff. But there really isn't a right answer to your question, because weeks ago we were all talking about dog with hat, we were talking about bonk, we were talking about this, we were talking about that. Those narratives change. We are trading attention and perception of value. We are not trading actual value. Probably smartest thing I've said on one of these streams. Am I still in tokens? Like, yeah, I've sold a little bit of it. I'm not gonna lie, I can't remember how much, but not a huge amount. I've basically recouped my initial investment, which I tend to do when projects go kind of 10x or whatever. But yes, I've still got a big bag of token site, and I'm very well aware of that chart. The fact that that's down only. But that's a good example of where the price action, I don't think, matches the product. But at the end of the day, it doesn't fucking matter what I think. It matters what the entire market as a collective thinks and whether they're willing to bid that chart or not. Yeah, white paper, devs, roadmaps, and TG group. Yeah, they're all shitcoins and Zervish. Yeah, they are. But it's what's on Meta, what's a good RR trade. So like, I've aped some Sol shitcoins, some proper shitcoins. I got in one that my friend is, he's close to, and it's like 30. It was 30k market cap. I think it ran up to like 200k and back down to 100 and stuff like that. But like, if you find stuff like that, that's a pure fucking gamble, right? It's fucking like, it'll probably be zero tomorrow, or in 3 weeks it'll be 10 million, right? It's gonna be one of those. But why? Don't know. Don't know. What would be looking? Would you be looking at what Bitcoin is doing as well in that scenario at launch? Is it less likely to be important as new and shiny? Well, Bitcoin does monitor everything, so I'm always conscious of Bitcoin, which is why it's this big orange line here. And when Bitcoin is in such a kind of simple distributive range, or well, let's not label it as distributive. Actually, let's keep it as a range, and we'll see if it's distributive as time goes on. You know, we can take into account where it is in that range for positioning purposes. So when it's at a range low, for example, particularly like when it was back here, I was super scared of a cascade. And by a cascade, I just mean it sells off, it takes all of these stops and just literally goes down and pings down to here in like a candle or two. And if you are long altcoins at that point, you are going to get your ass ripped open. There's no other way of putting it. Like, if it does that, which is kind of what it did over here, right? Alts just shat the bed for 10, 15%, and the books, if you're trading with any form of size, just disappear. And you just get your ass handed to you when you try and close those positions. So I'm always really conscious of, if we haven't had a sell off already, so this is probably a bit of source, if we haven't had a sell off already to test all those lows, when we come back to those range lows, is where I'm really cautious of being long altcoins. Really cautious. If we've swept them all and we've done it and we've taken all those stops and lovely jubbly, and then we kind of come back down to this level, it's less important. But the first time, very important. Playing the roulette table every morning, yeah. I mean, if you are in the genuine land of shitcoins, it is a pure fucking gamble. Woo and BANRY. We can do BANRY for sure. Again, I haven't looked at this in a little while. It's a bit disappointing because we had that big breakout the other week. Shows you how much I'm like monitoring my spot bags at the moment. I mean, it's still just stuck in this fucking eternal range, isn't it? What's it doing? What is it doing? Like, it's a great project. It was TVK, and TVK um absolutely ran before. Again, like, we just can't seem to break out of this 0.64. But when it does, I'm pretty confident that it actually runs hard. If we get that next leg up in the market overall, then this will fly, I think. And yes, I have a bag. Woo. Isn't that the one that every single partner shilled the day before they announced a big trading competition? Dunno. Dunno, Gov. No, Gov. Definitely not insider trading. What? No, I didn't say that. Yeah. I mean, take all the fucking noise out, right? Bosh. Let's just take the shitty VRVP off. It's kind of reclaimed this range. Actually, we'll chuck VRVP back on because it'd be interesting to see where it is. Yeah, it's kind of reclaimed this range. Not bad in terms of just like a very simple range low to range high play. But given where I think Bitcoin is, I don't think that this will actually play out. And sometimes I do take Bitcoin into my thought process. The other thing to look for is obviously like, if we reclaim that range on major strength, then I'd be pretty happy. But given that, again, I'm pretty confident the wheel will just be sat in here somewhere. I can see it. Yeah, it's just not for me. I don't really like simple range reclaim triggers without some form of strength on weak coins. Uma's been fun. Look at me losing momentum. I can't look at Uma. Helium. I'm trying all the shit coins again tonight. I suppose this is what happens. Helium. Heliumu. Doesn't look too bad actually for a breakout play. Because the rationale here is you're sat at basically range highs. Even though the range is fucking massive and a bit janky. Like if it was maybe it's a bit shite. I quite like breakouts, and these kind of meme triangles on reasonably strong coins. Again. I would be looking for it on this, and I would be quite aggressive in trying to find a reason to play the breakout. And anyone in the group would have seen me do it yesterday. Christ, what day is it? It's Tuesday, isn't it? On Manta. So Manta, I'll take you through the thought process because it's kind of similar to this. But if you took this price action and put it up at this high, then I'd be all over that. So where were we? That was it. So here, I'll talk you through this. Failed long, because I don't just talk about winners, we talk about the losers as well, because they usually offer pretty good learning experiences in terms of either how to manage the trade or just the fact that Charlie's a fucking loser in terms of no 100% win rate, yada yada yada. I was looking at this and I was looking at Manta and I was looking at the relative strength on Manta on literally the 15-second chart. And the thought process went something like this, which is you have this level which you failed to kind of break over several times. So you had those three kind of stabs and then that full-on rejection and sell-off. And then as you get over here, you have basically interactions with exactly the same level and close, 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 close. 1, 2, 3, but no sell-off this time. And this is like a meme pattern in terms of, yeah, okay, it's 3, but the point being that there is clearly, a kind of supply overhang at this point, right? So, sellers are just chunking out at this point, but eventually you would expect those sellers to kind of deplete and just go, well, fuck it. Why would I sell for $3.80 when I can sell it for $4? Let's not be stupid here. Let's let everyone have a bit of fun. And in this rotation down here, there was a nice bit of relative strength from Manta, and the combination of relative strength smashing into resistance for what, the fucking 6th, 7th time was enough for me to go, yeah, do you know what? I'm going to bet on the fact that this is the one that breaks it. And, it did not. I actually think my entry was a bit more aggressive than that. I think my stop was a little bit more aggressive than that. I think I used what was the POC at the time, which was a bit higher, as my invalidation. Without that previous price action, if I can make it broadly accurate. I'm just making it up. Oh, it's because we've got all this down here. So if I rewind. Yeah, that was it. So I was basically using the point of control to say that actually if we come back and retest that, then the breakout has clearly failed. And that's where I will get stopped and get fucked. And this was not quite the trade I'd planned. I think mine was like 6 point something R, but whatever. But yeah, I got stopped on that. And I'd still take that trade again because I had the confluence of low time frame relative strength. I had the high time frame set up in terms of this nice meme level. And actually, if we broke through, I thought it would really just do a nice little breakout. Whether it actually ran and then failed, I was quite conscious of that because we'd actually had quite a green day from it already, and usually that's kind of the move done once you get like a plus 10% move on an alt. But was willing to take that punt as well on the sort of change of market structure from this bearish move down into a decent move up. yeah, that's kind of it. That's 8 o'clock. I'm exhausted. I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, at the start of the stream, I woke up at like 4 o'clock this morning for no reason, just questioning my life. And if anyone's got any good life experiences that they can suggest, then I'm all ears. Jumping out of a plane or something like that. Can you set an alert on the exoskeleton when it switches bullish and bearish? Yeah, probably. Whitewater rafting, do you have to be vaguely physically able for that in terms of like, I can't really ice skate or do anything like that. I'm pretty useless. Ziplining's cool. Yeah, I've ziplined through Mexico actually. That was pretty incredible. Not through like the whole of Mexico. I wasn't just, people weren't just doing their shopping. I was fucking, hey, there's Charlie just flying across. You're disabled to know. Oh, fair enough, man. Well, now I feel bad. I'm just terribly, terribly inept at basically sports. I gotta just sit there and row sometimes. Yeah, I mean, I sat in a kayak a few years ago and I just sank. And I'm not even a fat fuck. So, yeah, some good suggestions, lads. I'll meander on them. Don't forget to hit the like button. Yes, thank you. I should shout out to Bybit as well for sponsoring this stream of sorts. If you sign up with the referral link, you get up to $30,000 deposit bonus. I get some shekels, and there's like a $500 competition going on. If you there's not many people signed up on the link, so you've got a reasonable chance of winning if you actually do sign up and deposit $100 on the exchange and make one trade, and then you are an eligible bachelor in terms of that competition. What else? What else we got? It's not really much. Not really much. Go on tour with the death metal band. It'll change your life. How many people signed up? I actually can't remember. I think in the past like month it might be 10. I don't know, something like that. So people think like there's huge volumes of people on ref links, and maybe some people have them. I know like what's it called? Moon Carl had like he was getting like a Bitcoin a day off it, and some of my other friends are doing serious volumes off it, which is why I've just decided to start posting the shit out of it. To be honest with you, because one, I trade there. Bybit's a great exchange, right? I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. I fucking trade there. Like, I'm not like, oh, go here, trade on this dog shit exchange. Well, I'm not fucking touching it. I trade there. So yeah, working in partnership with them is great. But my point being that people think that I make millions of dollars out of a ref link, and that is not true, sadly. Though I did have a whale trading under my FTX ref link for a while, which was nice. I think I sent Jim screenshots of the $1,000, $2,000 a day that they were bringing in just for clicking on a link at some point, which was quite nice. Passive income, hashtag retiring early, etc. But that was obviously peak bull mania. But you never know. Post a little link, get some pre-monies. Training for being underwater is very important as a trader. That's true. Go on tour with the death metal band. I could do that actually. That is genuinely an option for me. Genuinely. But I'm not sure it lasts too long. But thank you all for being here. I apologize. I apologize for the stream rugging earlier. That was a bit of a faux pas. The PC is going back to where I bought it from on Thursday, and I will no doubt speak to you all at some point between now and then. Thank you, everyone, and au revoir.